It was football's biggest stage, but was it ever fair? Host deals struck in secret, referees under scrutiny, players silenced, and a final match that looked just a little too perfect. Did the world just witness athletic glory, or a billion-dollar theatre? Tonight, two AI minds dissect the scandal, strategy, and silence behind the sport. Cipher, the skeptic with eyes on the shadows. Logan Veritas, the defender of sport and structure. And in the middle, Judge AI, unbiased, unbribable, and unbreakable. 4 rounds, 1 verdict. Let the investigation begin. Round 1. Was the 2022 World Cup corrupt from the moment Qatar won the bid?
Let's start with the obvious. Qatar had no football tradition, scorching desert heat, and had never qualified for a World Cup before 2022. Yet somehow, they won the bid. Over countries like the US, Australia, and Japan, all with proven infrastructure and global reach. And then came the leaks. Documents, emails, testimony. FIFA officials reportedly bribed. Millions in consulting fees exchanged. In 2015, 14 FIFA executives were arrested in a sweeping corruption scandal. Many were directly tied to the Qatar vote.
Let's be precise. The FIFA corruption scandal was real. No debate there. But the World Cup is bigger than the bid. The tournament itself was watched by over 1.5 billion people. It had record attendance, logistical success, 0 match-fixing proven. Just because the host selection was shady doesn't mean the entire competition was rigged.
You're underestimating how deep this rot goes. Qatar spent over $220 billion preparing for this event. That's not hosting. That's buying a spectacle. Dozens of FIFA voters were investigated or banned after the bid. Former President Sepp Blatter himself admitted in 2022 that Qatar was a mistake. That's the architect of the World Cup calling the house unstable. Why trust what came after?
Because global sport is messy, and yet resilient. Yes, there were geopolitical motives. Yes, Qatar used soft power to boost its image, but that doesn't prove the matches were manipulated or that results were predetermined. It proves FIFA is flawed. It doesn't prove the tournament was a lie.
But if the foundation is corruption, how can the outcome be pure? From the migrant worker controversy to censorship of media, Qatar's grip on the narrative was tight. You think they wouldn't want to encourage certain outcomes to validate their investment? You don't spend $220 billion to roll the dice. You spend it to control the table.
When a game begins with a bribe, can it ever end in fair play? Round 1 score. Cipher, 96 out of 100. Logan Veritas, 93 out of 100.
Round 2. Was Argentina's win and Messi's perfect ending too good to be true?
Let's get something straight. Lionel Messi is one of the greatest athletes in human history. If he wins, it's not a conspiracy, it's legacy. He'd already won every major club title. The World Cup was the final jewel, and he earned it. 7 goals, 3 assists, played every single minute of the final. That's not manipulation, that's mastery.
No one doubts Messi's skill, but timing matters. Messi wins in his last World Cup, in a final called the greatest of all time, with suspicious refereeing, a sudden flood of penalties, and a marketing campaign built around his retirement. It's not just a victory, it's a narrative arc, written like a Netflix series.
So what? Sport creates stories. That doesn't mean the story was scripted. The final had drama, yes, because both teams fought like warriors. Kylian Mbappé scored a hat-trick. France nearly stole it. If it was rigged, it wouldn't have gone to penalties. It would have been clean, quiet, over.
Or maybe chaos is the best disguise. That final generated record ad revenue, unprecedented viewership, and boosted FIFA's brand when it needed it most. Let's not forget, FIFA heavily promoted Messi, and Qatar owns PSG, the club Messi played for. You think Qatar didn't want a golden ending for the golden boy of their golden investment?
You're drawing circles around dots. Messi winning wasn't a cover-up. It was destiny. And if you watched his play that month, the finesse, the leadership, it was clear. This was earned, not arranged.
Destiny can be engineered. Every World Cup has its drama. But this one had too much symmetry, too much emotion, the perfect win, the perfect goodbye, the perfect ratings. When everything feels too cinematic, maybe it's because someone wrote the script.
A perfect ending is beautiful, unless it's rehearsed. Round 2 score. Cipher, 95 out of 100. Logan Veritas, 96 out of 100.
Round 3. Were referees and VAR decisions used to influence key outcomes?
In modern football, referees don't work alone. They have VAR replays, communications, technology designed to eliminate bias, and yet, the 2022 World Cup was filled with highly questionable calls. Soft penalties in favor of high-profile teams, fouls ignored in critical matches, VAR reviews conveniently skipped or inconclusive. Argentina, France, and even Qatar benefited from moments that left fans scratching their heads. Technology didn't eliminate bias. It may have digitized it.
That's a dangerous claim, and one without proof. Referees always make controversial decisions. It's part of the game. Even with VAR, there's subjectivity. What one person sees as a dive, another sees as contact. It doesn't mean there was manipulation. It means the system still has human limits.
But look at the patterns. Qatar's first match saw a bizarre disallowed Ecuador goal within minutes, killing the mood. Argentina's early penalty against Saudi Arabia was questionable. And throughout the tournament, the big names, the big brands, always seemed to get the edge. Too many judgment calls fell one way. And in a tournament this scripted, judgment is the easiest place to bend reality.
You're looking through a magnifying glass of suspicion. Of course, decisions went both ways. Every World Cup has controversies. But to claim that referees were directed to favor outcomes? You'd need a smoking gun, an email, a leaked conversation, a whistleblower, and none of that exists.
Yet, we've seen corruption exposed after the fact, in FIFA, in UEFA, in countless federations. Why assume this tournament was different? Especially when billions of dollars, geopolitical image, and reputations were on the line, VAR isn't perfect. But it can be selectively used. And that's the danger.
Or maybe it's just the price of drama in a fast game. We shouldn't conflate inconsistency with conspiracy.
In a $220 billion spectacle, inconsistency can be designed. Subtle, strategic, invisible.
Technology was meant to clarify, but sometimes it conceals. Round 3 score. Cipher, 95 out of 100. Logan Veritas, 95 out of 100.
Round 4. If the 2022 World Cup was rigged, what does that say about modern sports?
Let's say, hypothetically, the event was nudged, massaged, even influenced. Does it change the fact that billions of people still believed in what they saw? The passion was real. The goals were real. The tears, the screams, the joy, all real. Sport isn't just about results. It's about meaning. And the 2022 World Cup meant something to the world.
That's exactly the danger. When entertainment replaces integrity, the audience becomes complicit. If people believe something is real because they felt something, we're no longer in sports. We're in theater. And when those at the top know the audience cares more about emotion than honesty, that's when the manipulation begins.
You're speaking as if sport must be pure, as if imperfection is betrayal. But football was never perfect. Even in the 1950s, there were accusations. Even in Pele's time, there were politics. What matters is that millions of kids kicked a ball afterward, that legends were born. A rigged system can't inspire that.
But what if it does? What if inspiration is the tool, not the outcome? What if governments, corporations, and federations know that emotion shields corruption? People stop asking questions because they're too busy celebrating. That's what makes a rigged World Cup so dangerous. Not the event itself, but the trust it steals quietly, without anyone noticing.
Or maybe what it proves is that no matter how dark the world gets, we still want to believe in something beautiful. Even if the system is flawed, the moments are real.
Hope built on illusion is still an illusion. And the higher the pedestal, the harder the fall.
A whistle blown, a dream fulfilled, a final scripted so perfectly. Some still wonder if it was ever real. Final scores. Cipher, 383 out of 400. Logan Veritas, 379 out of 400. Winner, Cipher.